Hey, how's it going, Bird and Friends? This is Rock coming in and doing a VOD review for you all. I said this one looks to be on Alterac Pass. I'm not sure if this was your Nexomania match this past week or if this was a Storm League. That looks like a pretty coordinated group. I'm pretty sure this is Nexomania. So, oh yeah, they're talking to you all, Chad. It's a Nexo scrim. So, as we jump into Alterac Pass, I'll just quickly talk about what I think our two win conditions are, as well as what the other enemy team is good at. So, our team um, currently looks like we'll be playing for a mix of pick and split push. Um, this might be actually really awkward because of what you've drafted in your composition. So, well, I'll just explain what I think. So Samro is good at split pushing and getting lots of time hitting down buildings. Zagara split pushes, can bring team fight with Maw, but most of the strength in her is going to be late game scaling when her stuff starts hitting really hard and being able to poke, control vision, and siege. So you've got two people that want to siege. I'm guessing these are effectively our two quote unquote anchors. Chromie is poke or pick, depending on kind of her ultimate choices. Uther is team fight. He is fast fights, right? He's got quick stuns. He's got fast like one button heals. So it's like he doesn't have sustained healing. He is a fast fighter, fast healer. So Uther wants short fights. Anubrak wants short fights, right? Anubrak wants to push all of his buttons and have something die. Chromie, Zagara, and Samuro want long fights. So you kind of have this weird dynamic with your team where you've got two players want to fight fast, two players want to poke and fight from range, and one person wants to PvE the whole game. So if you guys are planning some sort of like 1-3-1 where Zagara and Samuro are split pushing the entire time and Chromie is like infinitely poking the objective like from here, it might work. But it's like then we run into an issue of the number one thing that you draft on this map is camps. Who on your team is the camper, right? Like Zagara and has to be the camper, or Chromie plus Uther has to be the camper. Like no one on your team really does camps quickly, and the camp is almost the most important thing on the map. Just because this camp is what's going to knock down mid, and then once mid's down, it's going to enable you to be able to attack, and they cannot safely poke their objective from over their wall. So you really need to make sure that you're able to attack and push into there. So that's kind of why I feel like our composition is a little weird. Obviously, I'm willing to see how you guys played it and get your feedback on why you drafted it. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. As far as the enemy team's composition, the enemy team actually, assuming that they're going clone, is all in. So the reason I say that is because they have Joanna. Joanna is a wall slash all in tank, and so she's going to be wanting to come all in and be able to use a shield and kill somebody. Oh boy, I think you just die, Indigo. Tia lives. Okay, yeah. As I said, it's already kind of awkward. Like we already split 1-3-1, and like we're over here zoning like we have our team with us. So got spraying clear mid. We're already getting our side stuff down. Uga almost died to Illidan here with plus hat. The Illidan hat's super annoying. Bird's gonna get almost a whole tower though. So far stuff's working. Okay, so you guys did plan on Chromie Uther doing the camp. It's gonna definitely be slow as heck, but it can be done. Birds can be fine. Samuro things. We caught our wave. Looking good. Uga bottom here is really gonna have a hard time. Like you're pretty much gonna just have to sit at your wall and clear. Because he can dive you at the wall if he plays correctly. So yep, they got their camp, what it said. So we got their camp first, so we're still playing the map correctly. You guys are doing okay. Bird got the first tower. Uga split pushing his. Because it's funny, like, you guys have a plan here, right? Like, you've got the ability to play the map, but you have to eventually win or do something, right? And so that might be where you run into a problem, is eventually once you guys hit 10 and they come online with the ability to clone and the ability to just kind of run at people and run you down between Illidan Hunt or Illidan Meta plus another Illidan or two Joes. It's just going to be really challenging. And I'm glad you guys made a role swap. I was going to say, you guys really should swap lanes. Like, Uga really is not going to do anything into Illidan. I think the Hunter, the way the Hunter's coded, it's technically spell damage, but it's not exactly favorable. So Bird's not going to do tons better, but at least he'll be able to live because he's got sustain compared to Zagara, who doesn't have self sustain. So okay, interesting to see how you guys play this. We're tapping, we're going home. Again, like this is effectively a 2v1, right? So anytime Illidan's got a hat, it's 2v1, so it's kind of not fun. Diving that Zagara again, oh my gosh. Let's back up real quick. Like, how much of this is their good play versus our overextension? Okay, we should be calling that they're missing out of middle. Hold on. Uga, you need a creep in here. Like, you literally have the character that creates the vision. This needs to be visioned first before you do two here, right? Like, this creep tumor and this creep tumor cover effectively the same area, right? Like, and then this creep tumor technically doesn't do you anything, right? Like, it's like you don't get movement speed, bonuses, armor, any of that stuff in your home, right? Like, unless you're playing, like, I understand this one being here because eventually you're going Nidus or something, but like, you really need to make sure that your creep is giving you vision to help you not get ganked, and it's giving you movement speed, lane speed to harass and go back and forth. And you're currently missing your vision here. So they should have said, hey, they're coming for you, which they did, and then you ran, but it's just you get ran down. There's not a lot you can do. That's unfortunate. You actually got really close to living, but besides like being able to know based on their vision and rotations, you could have lived there. So okay, camp's up. We're back on our camp. Well done. A new brack can potentially choose the objective depending on how they play. Good pull. Yep. You didn't take beetles on one. So that means choosing the objective is going to cost you more. So I don't know if you actually are planning to do that, Teal, but if you want to choose the objective, you really should take beetles on one, just because you don't have to use two abilities to then generate the beetles or generate a pole. So I understand taking the magic armor because of the KT, but the KT is not was going to be what kills you. It's going to be like the Illidan that runs you down. Got our camp ahead of time. Good. I was about to say, make sure if we see they're off the map, they're not answering Zagara, they're not answering you middle. This is an opportunity to try and cheese the objective, get some time. You see how you had to use two abilities here? Then I'm like, not that your stun potentially is going to make any difference here, but if you have the beetle charges, you could have done it on this side and just dropped both and then channeled on this side instead of coming over here to this side. I think you're currently missing your stun. He actually might kill you because you didn't have your stun. I know you reused it here, but like, we lost half of our HP to try to cheese the objective. We did get a wall though, so it was worth. We got a wall. Samura's gonna cheese the objective now. Good job. Again, so I said, like, we're playing slow for the map for the objective, which if we're playing slow for the objective for the map and all that stuff, that's why Uther and like Anubrak just don't make sense to me, because that's not how they want to play the map. So Illidan's running down Ugatop. We should be fine. We're not going to kill anything, right? Like, that's part of... we're going to take a lot of damage here. A lot of movement speed. We're going to live, but just barely. Just don't chain bomb each other. Okay. So, looks good. I said, I'm like, if you guys are willing to play this tug of war game, you're winning, right? It's not by much. But like, if we look at it, we've got a wall here. We've got the wall here, right? They don't have a wall. They don't have a wall. They don't have a wall. So we're technically playing our win condition and winning, right? Like, the only death we've had, I think, is when they ran down Zagara up here, right? And so, like, we're doing good. It's just that this is going to be the longest, slowest game to 10. But once they get 10s, oh, Ugo's overextended. How did this happen again? Yeah, like, we can't go past the 50-yard line, even with all of our movement speed. We can't go past the 50-yard line. Like, you're just going to die to Illidan. Oh, you tried turning on him to get a kill. Because the main thing is that anytime Illidan has the hat, he's just going to be effectively invincible into you, and then he can run in and get tons of life and health steal. right? Like you stepped up to try to kill him, and now he turns on you, and he can kill you because he can dive the tower. Oh, okay. He didn't go for it. Interesting. You guys are playing way too dangerous on the edge there. Like, just take your wave clear advantage and be happy. Right, they're doing the camp, which is fine. We're trying to do ours. Right, they're able to choose the objective because of Lucio stuff. So this is... So, alright, we got back up one more time. So Chromie's level 8. You can drop Sands here, and you can have infinite vision control of this point. Right, like Sands gives vision. So you can put down Sands, and you can see if they're channeling and just poke forever. Right, like they really should not get a channel here. I know you want to do this camp, but like they shouldn't get a free channel on you. Right, like you have Chromie, and Chromie can do this. Chromie can put time stops here. Right, like we've got one bush time trap, which is good, and then we've got maybe one proactive time trap to look for a kill or something. But like, if we're playing that long game where we want to be split pushing and focusing on stuff, like we need to make sure we don't give the objective away for free, because now Indigo might just die. Okay, they weren't ready for you, because like you dug in to get that objective, and yeah, we're stuck on this camp over here. Like, don't get me wrong, the first objective isn't the end of the world, but like it's part of like if we give the objective for free, right? So like all of our split push, all the things that we did, we're even on 10s, we're even on XP, right? We're up +1 camp, but like let's see what they get for the objective. Because if they force a 4v5 or a 5v5 team fight, then like we're gonna have a really hard time getting kills with our damage structure. So let's see what they do. Okay, slowing them down, poking them down. Zagara had to leave top because he almost died again into Illidan. Like, this is just not a favorable matchup. It's going to be like that all game. Bread's going to clear his pretty quick. You guys should swap lanes as soon as you're done. They're going to come and try and push top. Oh, nope, just Joe just showed again, so they might go bottom. Okay, no, they are. They're top. Good idea. We do have Ma. Oh, that's how you lived, as you mod the Illidan. Okay. Okay. So this is where our generic gameplay is weird. So we're engaging right now to try to get a kill. Who is the kill target? Because you're going to have a hard time bursting Lucio because we don't have loop. We don't have, you know, consistent burst at this point in the game. And we don't have enough damage for our CCs, right? We've thrown our first Uther stun. We're about to land our next 2 stuns. So you're counting on Uga to do more damage. But Uga's getting engaged on by the guy here, right? And then he went Falling Sword on top of it into our combo, right? So we went CC Chain and he went Falling Sword. So it's going to be even harder for us to... Oh, man, that was just sad. Okay, so before we engage there, hopefully we have looked at their 10s and saw what ults they have chosen, right? We should know, hey, that Illidan has Metamorphosis, not Hunt. Hey, we should know that Joe has Falling Sword, right? And so we can try. So if Joe has Falling Sword, you have to either remove Joe from the fight, or you have to bait out Falling Sword before you can hard engage. And so that's going to make things really difficult because you guys have kind of a very front-to-back linear engage style. Like, we engaged on the Joe, who had Falling Sword, and then just the split damage and the stuff that ends up happening. Like, we end up dying to Phoenix accidental damage. Like, that's just not an engage that we want. And Abathur took split to match your split. Wow. Well, I guess it's also he wants to hat Illidan the whole time. He doesn't want to clone. He wants to be able to hat Illidan. She's just gonna need help with this. Camps are even now. Birds matching top. Scars again back to bottom. So like even after their objective, right? Wall to wall. Wall, still good. Wall to wall. So you guys are still ahead structurally. As I'm like, and your XP is practically even, right? So like technically your strategy is winning. But it's like, but it's just gonna be awkward for you to win later game fights and stuff. Mugi should be okay. We clear their camp. Focus on middle push. Looks good. Watching for their rotation. We didn't find it. Looking for them again. They're clearing our nulls. We really don't want to let them clear that for free, but we don't really have the ability to like to fight. Birds here. See, like the difference between Bird showing up and Illidan showing up is huge. Like Bird isn't going to run down and try and kill people. Illidan is. Good stuns. We peeled him off. Okay, objective's up. Bird's trying to cheese. Can we help peel for Bird so he can cheese? He got it. Now we need to run away. Looks like Bird's going to be fine. Yep. Tug of war. Tug of war. So what we're doing based on what you guys drafted is a tug of war. So we really don't want to fight them. We still have dig. We're okay. We're okay. Cool. All right. Oh, he's got mule. We really gotta watch. We gotta kill. Oh, it's really gonna hurt your strategy. Like we have to be able to finish buildings. We can't chip them down because he's gonna heal them back up. Yeah, this one might be just a mixture of tools and draft. This is gonna be a really hard game. New Bird might be able to come in and help. Are we trying to kill the Lucio? Like that's twice. Oh, we're stopping the high five. We're able to run him down. Good. That's a good stun. Falling swords out. Illidan's running amok in the back. We're a little split there. Good shots. Oh, almost. It's a good stun. Shay's dead here. Good job running through your sands. D-shield came out, but meta's coming out. No, no, Shay. Yeah, you're just dead. Yeah, this is... I don't know. Like, I feel like Zagara needs to be a different hero. Like, I know, like, you can't just blame everything on draft, but, like, this is not... It's not getting you anything. Like, she's not contributing to your 4-man. And, like, she currently is a liability between Illidan and Lucio and everyone being able to run her down. Like, Bird is being successful at hitting walls and stuff. Like, obviously this is getting healed up too. So, like, our chip damage is really hard. We need to secure buildings. So, like, this needs to be either with the team more when we're actually trying to fight things. Like, we took Maw. So, like, we actually need to be with the team to use the Maw. Or we need to be able to get some sort of advantage on our push. But the Abathur's... The Abathur plus Monstrosity is matching or beating Zagara. Right? Because, like, beating because it's healing the lanes. Bird trying to choose the objective again. Our camp's up. We should take our camp. We don't have any vision of that. Ellen showing top. I'm going to try and cheese. So that means they're on their objective. Or, sorry, their camp. Unfortunately, you can't really duel him. He just heals off of both of you. Like, hold on, hold on, hold on. This Illidan blew all of his buttons, and we actually had 4 stuns available for him. That actually could have killed him. Okay, so first stun got used. Chromie's on the way. So could we have waited on this stun here? Right? Like, Chromie's not there yet. Like, if you guys actually were trying to fight this, you could fight it. Because he's already blown his evasion. So he doesn't have evasion right now. So you could turn After your second stun, 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 Chromie Blast, and put some good damage on him. See, like just half a second different, and he dies compared to getting away. And then Falling Sword into meta. That's a good timeout. Nicely done. Good job. We got our poke. Don't chain bomb. Hey, we won our objective. Well done. So now we need to get value out of this, right? Like, we've been split pushing. We've made it work. They've been healing up all of our chip damage, so we really have to secure a building here. So we need to pick one. Like, as much as we've been splitting, we need to all in with Zagara on one of these lanes. We have to get a building. Whatever building you think is going to be most valuable to you and being able to put enough damage in, you have to secure building into Abathur Mule. So I would call Zagara up to mid, or I would run bottom to Zagara. Right? Don't ever go to the Samuro lane. Samuro needs to do Samuro things. So we're not going to get this mid building, are we? Sam got his building. Okay, bird came down. We got bottom building. Huh, we get all three. Oh, no, we don't. Okay. I personally would have liked middle building to be expedited first, but as long as you get all three, it doesn't matter. Alright. Yeah, your guys' composition here is super awkward, but you're making it work because you're effectively not only getting the split push damage, but you're out macroing them. Like, Illidan, or the... It's really weird. Like, Joe not going... Like, they're trying to enable Illidan to run around and run amok amongst your team, but, like, Falling Sword's not really meant to enable someone with a cleanse. It's really meant to deny an all-in. And so it feels like he's trying to cleanse Illidan so Illidan can go in and do things. But, yeah. It looks like we were thinking about bottom boss. We've changed our mind. I agree. Bosses are actually kind of a bait on this map. You really don't do bosses unless they're free or you can fight over them. We don't necessarily have the best tools, right? Like, we do have Maw, but... Oh, you guys gonna get run down. It's gonna be close now. Flashlight, second flashlight, hammer. Oh my gosh, falling sworded for you. Okay. And we took a boss. Probably worth. They blew a lot of stuff for you. I don't know if, like, the objective's up. We really don't want to support this boss. Like, we do and we don't. Right? Like, they should come answer boss. At least Illidan or at least KT should answer boss. So if Illidan or KT answers boss, the three of you should be able to get channel time. And since you've been playing the long game, right? The long, slow, drawn-out poke game, right? Like, we can play tug of war here, 3v3, or 3v1, or whoever they send here. So, but I also understand the opposite side of the coin, where you want to secure the buildings that the boss hits because you don't want Abathur to heal it. But there's no way that this keep dies, right? Like, the wall's already gone. So to me, this is a distraction. Like, I know you're trying to kill the monstrosity too, which is good. But I'm just saying, like, this boss to me was taken so you can get the objective, right? So, Illidan's still bottom. So they showed 3 top. So we leave. And hopefully we can get the objective while they're answering that. Samurai's going to the objective. We have 20s first. This is our chance. So try and get the objective as well as... Samurai's not going to be able to cheese it this time. We did the camp. 20 versus 19. Oh. Again, the falling sword isn't... It's not good. Okay. Alright, we have 20s. Like, if we're going to fight, right? Like, we're not a super fighty comp, but if we're going to fight, like, this is our opportunity. Like, this is our window. Everybody's here. Can we find something? That clump right there. Oh, you're at don't have cooldowns, though. Oh, and see, now we overlapped on our ultimates there. Illidan's gonna meta. He's out. Bird's here. It's gonna be really close. Oh my gosh, we're just taking so much damage. And now Illidan's running amok on the back. So, like I said, it's not always gonna come down to a 20 versus 20 team fight. But this is 100% why like your composition has to have something that it can do once it gets to that advantage, right? Like you've effectively done your mission, your team's mission has been complete. You got all of the outside buildings by split pushing and not fighting. Now you have to take a fight, right? You don't have to take one right now, but you're eventually 20 versus 20 going to have to take a fight, right? Like it's not safe for Zagara anymore to split push anywhere near these. So you can't take any open lanes. So the only person that can split push now is Samuro. And then because it's one of the traps of fighting into Illidan and Lucio is the further you can step up to do damage, the further they can run you down. And so us clearing all these buildings actually gives us a chance to position to be out of position as we run. We need to communicate our engages, right? Like we cocooned and mod the exact same target. It's gonna happen, but just try and talk out what do you want to do. What is the target? What's the engage? What are we trying to kill? Right? I agree with falling swords down. So if we remove high five, right, we can kill something. That's what we're looking at. So if we're trying to do that, right, like we don't need to maw the same target that we're trying to potentially isolate, right? You can save your maws for defensive, or you can save your maws for when they're truly grouped. So then Uther is trying to peel the Illidan, so we hit all of our stuns on Illidan, and then Illidan gets away with meta, just barely. And again, this is part of the damage structure, right? Because, like, the Hydralisk is attacking Illidan. Okay. Uga's attacking, actually, a different target. Okay, we definitely need to be focus firing our targets there. We probably could have killed Illidan if we would have thrown all of our Qs at Illidan during the stun chain instead of all of our Qs at Joe. We just got split focused on what we were trying to do there. Um, and like I love these two stuns. These two stuns look great. And then we run into where this would have been a beautiful maw, right? Like have patience on that trigger finger, right? Like you can have Teal set you up. That's a 4-man maw that they literally couldn't do anything about. And then we just lacked kill confirm, right? Like your composition has so much poke, so much range that like you really can't kill confirm. And so Teal sees it with Bird, and so they're running it down. But as they run it down, now we're no longer protecting our backline. And this hatted Illidan is going to be a pain. The D shield, unfortunately, so again, we miscommunicated our ultimates. So we're D shielding because you have no health, but at the same time, you end up popping time stop. And so the D shield actually goes on the wrong target because you're standing right on top of each other. He ends up D shielding himself because he was trying to D shield you. And so now we don't have D shield or time stop to save this one. So that's really unfortunate. I think that's really close. I don't know if you actually need to force that fight. Like, I really like forcing the fight because you have 20s and trying to get an advantage somewhere. Um, but just forcing it where it makes sense, right? Like, Bird was still middle in a lane. I understand Bird doesn't want to, like, walk in with you when you go to fight. But, like, if you can time that a little bit better so Bird is able to help with that first bit of damage before he gets out. They're doing... Okay, they're doing camp. I'm like, if they're doing boss, it's wrong. Did you check it, Shay? Did you check it, Shay? You really... okay. We see them. But don't be afraid to just cast a Q to check the boss. Right? We haven't seen them in a while. We know that they're here. Like, hypothetically, they shouldn't be anywhere else because Illidan's dead. But just a good idea to keep vision of it. You can kill Lucio here. That was a double stun. Okay, we got Falling Sword out. So we can now take a two-stage fight. Right? We've got Rewind up. We got 4 stuns available for the next target. So if we cocoon Lucio and look to fight here, it's going to be great. Well done. Good split push. Good poke. This is what I wanted you to do earlier, so you didn't give the first objective for free. We cocoon KT. Alright, we got 1 kill. The Maw landed this time. We got 2 kills. Oh, yep, 2 kills. Alright, GG. Wait. 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 I can't see the timer. Did the minions already get taken? Why are we not doing the objective? Is this a glitch? We stalled them. Like, we played our composition perfectly. We stalled them. We forced the 3v5. Right? We got our kills. Little weird on the timing there for your dig, Teal. That's okay. Like, we got our kills. Nice Q shot. Yeah. This is objective. They're 2 dead 60 seconds. It's objective first. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Don't do boss. Okay. So, boss on this map is not as strong as the Cursed Hollow boss. So, getting a boss here doesn't help you end. Right? They're down 2 players for 50 seconds. So, you need to be either pushing down buildings like crazy, right? Because they're down 2 players and you take the biggest risks when they're dead, right? Or you're taking the objective, which is going to help you work to your strategy where you can split push and get some wins, right? But if we're taking the boss, right, like we can't... We're going to do both. Okay. Can we punish them? The rewind wasn't used. Cocoon's out now. We still didn't use our rewind. Hold on, hold on, hold on. So I don't like this. Okay. So we split and did both. So we may have committed too many resources to too many things. Right? Like we're slow on the boss because we only have 3 players there. Okay, we didn't secure the objective because we didn't send our team there. And so now this is a great opportunity. They are overextended, 2 versus 4. Right? You cocoon Joe, kill Illidan. Cocoon Joe, rewind, kill Illidan. Right? Like you knew where he was. Like we waited so long to line up this stun where you technically hit both. And now we don't have damage to finish them. Oh my gosh. Okay. He overextends and dies for it at least. I don't think we can kill them. I don't know if we can poke this objective now. We don't have Chromie. Wow. They're going to win this, aren't they? Same, I was trying to get split push. They're getting the objective. Chromie's up soon. That's going to get healed up, unfortunately. We're doing the camp. Okay. Like, he's going to heal that up. Oh, boy. Now this is getting too dangerously close. I think you really needed to pick one thing to do there, not be split. Like, sure, we could have fought a little bit better and used all of our CCs correctly onto Illidan and got kills, but, like, because we split like that, we, didn't get either. Right? We weren't able to secure a building with the boss, and we weren't able to secure the objective, which would have definitely secured a building. Uh-oh. Alright, bird gets out. Same road things. Illidan running under the building. We don't care about that. And he's gonna live. Are we looking to engage? That's a good maw. Okay. Indigo, if you don't know, there's 3 pulses on every maw. So you can time it to where you can get this. Joe shouldn't have Falling Sword up because she used it earlier on you. So you should be able to time it and engage on this on the 3rd pulse. You have 4 stuns. So you see 1, 2. Oh, okay. I don't know if this duration bar is there for real all the time or if it's just an obs. But this pulses 3 times. It crunches and it crunches 3 times. Let me back up and see if I can view it normal. Okay. So we hit our maw on the clump. So watch. 1, 2, 3. So we still got a double kill. This Illidan's gonna be Illidan Abathur, man. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is really sad. But yeah, it's just Illidan things, right? Because like if because effectively Metamorphosis permanently gives him 20% increase and reduces the duration of stuns, roots, and slows, right? So like he effectively, has stun resistance against you once he hits 20. So it's just, yeah, really needed to win this one early before their Wombo stuff came online. So at this point, all I can think of is when we do have to force a fight, how do we either secure Illidan or make sure that he's under control? Right? They're currently doing top boss. Yep. Okay, we found them. Nice maw. Oh, we mistimed our dig again. Unstoppable on the point. I don't know if we have enough. We don't have enough CCs. Somehow we killed Joe first. I think we're just hitting the pile, right? Like we're not necessarily trying. Yeah, no. The only other thing I can say is like as Uther, you can specifically try, um, especially since you took the Resurrect talent, you can really try to make sure that you're the one who's dying first, right? Like every team fight where you want the duration to go on longer and you're out of buttons, it's almost better for you to be dead because then you can heal. So, this is. Cocoon was used. Let's quickly see who's Cocoon used on. Because at this point, you might just have to Cocoon Illidan. Like, you either need to Cocoon Illidan or you need to be able to stop Joe from falling sorting your all in. like we I think if you land all four of your stuns teal on top of this Maw, Illidan is dead. Because there's no way that they're both going to be able to get all their buttons off. But unfortunately, they both get their buttons off. And Cocoon's on Lucio again. Right? Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, you're not trying to Cocoon someone that was just out of a Maw. But, like, we just don't. We don't have the damage structure. We don't have the CCs to finish this Illidan. Yeah, the Illidan combo. Oh, we missed our Q shots there on the Illidan, too. Yeah. I guess the other question you can think about is, did we really want or really need to fight for that objective? It's going to be close. Yep. It's kind of a freebie that we gave him. Like, we don't really necessarily need to fight the objective. Like, we had Cocoon or we had Maw, which is why I was like, yes, we can steal. Either the Maw was unfortunately positioned where we couldn't get on the point, or it was perfectly positioned to secure it, but then we couldn't follow up and kill on top of it. So I think it's twice where if we would have been able to time our stuff on top of the Maw better, we could potentially have stopped Illidan or at least got one of the kills to prevent a snowball back the other way. So they're going to give us at least one more fight. So we're taking our fight. First stun, second stun. Rewind was coming out. Third stun, fourth stun. Is there a reason why we're on KT? Right, like we've been seeing how deadly their team is. And of all the heroes on their team, KT is probably the least scary. Right, like this is where, not that Shay did anything wrong, but this is where like, this is kind of I talk about how you want fast fights. Like Anub and Uther want fast fight picks. Right, so fast fight pick, and then you've got poke damage, poke damage. So it's not necessarily like something that you can actually secure within a burst combo. Because I would love for stun, stun on Illidan, right? Like I know as I'm like I know you're just hitting what's in front of you, but like we then so we did cocoon Illidan this time. Okay, well done. So we cocooned Illidan. So we need to get a kill. So I don't know what target's being called here, but look at where our damage structure is, right? The best that they can reach is either Illidan or Joe. So we're digging past both of them, right? And so we're not able to hit either. Your DPS can't follow up. And then Illidan's going to come out and start wrecking on your backline, right? Like Maw, I don't know what, like, yeah, I don't like this Maw. It doesn't catch multiple heroes, and it isolates and kind of breaks up your engage, right? Like if you really wanted to Maw as like a defensive, like mawing on top of the Illidan could have been huge. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. I think Illidan on core just wins here at this point. So, yeah. Hopefully this was helpful. Like, I think you guys actually played your win condition very well early, and then you started running into effectively not syncing up your buttons perfectly. And you potentially don't have to sync up your buttons that perfectly if you change some of your damage structure or change some of what your tanks and damage is, right? Like if you pick somebody that does a little bit more burst damage or can bring more to a team fight instead of Zagara, then you potentially can get kills a lot faster off of your picks. But if you're trying to take those longer sustained fights, right? Like I don't know if Brightwing was banned, but Brightwing is great into Illidan too, right? As being able to help peel for your backline. You could take a Brightwing, you could take like an Arthas and Illidan, something that's or Arthas or Joe. They have Joe, but something that's more of a wall for the Illidan compared to like an engaged tank, right? Not that you can't go backwards and stun, like you got lots of backward stuns on Illidan, but like yeah, it just was really really hard. I think we clean up some of our engages. We're able to follow up on Maw a little bit better, and we definitely get some kills and might be able to win this game out. I think the most critical fix that needs to occur is we had an advantage. We killed two people here, right? And instead of being able to secure the objective, which would get 1 to 2 buildings here, we went and took a boss and then lost people and then lost the objective, right? Like the bosses on this map just aren't good. I like you really like you're using the boss, especially if you can't finish a building into Abathur. Like you use the boss to help you capture the objective, but when everybody's dead, just take the objective, right? Like boss has a hard time ending on core by itself, but like the camp, like the actual like null camp, has a better chance of killing core because it has minus armor on attack. So we'll just watch to the end, see if you guys got some cool plays. We get one more shot at this, but this really should be just Illidan running at core. We don't have Cocoon for 25. He missed the stun. He's unstoppable. Missed the stun. Yeah, just like Illidan runs at core. Falling Sword. That's game. So, really unfortunate. I thought you guys were going to win with effectively your mix of poke and your mix of defensive stuff, but yeah, they used their tools well early, and then we didn't do best capitalizing on our own. So, really tough game. I would say look at look at draft, like changing a couple things, and then if you're going to be taking Zagara or someone else that's like all in like that, and you're going to be trying to wombo off of the all in to be able to time our stuff off of it a little bit better, a little bit tighter. So overall, I think it was a good game. I said it's hard. They got their combo, they got to 20, and they were able to win. If you were able to close that game out before 20s came out, you have a much better time of winning some of those really long team fights where Illidan doesn't just take over. So let's quickly look at talents. Samuro, Windwalk stuff. Yep. Battle Drop and Venomous Shrines. Hmm. I won't load the talents for some reason. I don't normally see people taking Venom Spines. Like, this is the split push talent, right? To help you with your wave clear. And then this is the dueling long game talent. Do I think you're going to get a million stacks this game, especially into Illidan? No. Um, like, more damage is more damage, and poison goes through Illidan shields, so I guess it's just awkward. I'll take it. Um, did you finish your battle drops? You didn't finish your battle drops. That's something that you need to make sure you try and do that. Armor, no. You're playing poke long attacks. So the way that Hydralisk is coded, I believe Hydralisk it hits Illidan through evasion, unless they changed it again. Because evasion is does not reduce from that damage type. And like I said, it used to work, maybe not work, but we'll see. But I agree with these two. But if you're planning on going these two, right? Like you might as well take the heal because then this heals more. right? More damage, more healing, so you can potentially do a little bit more compared to armor on creep, where armor on creep is you're going to be fighting over a zone. Like you guys almost never fought over a zone. So I would have definitely taken the thing. I'm going to have to go into try mode after this and quickly see. Chromie stuff. W into Q's. W time trap. Spell power. I actually, yeah, that's probably fine. You probably can't use Quantum Overdrive very well because you don't have loop. Um, Pierce, that's fine. Q, okay. Okay, so it's mana talents. Stun, root, or silence give Uther mana. Instead of Kotak? Are you worried about you getting engaged on? I would have really have taken Coag here. So Joe guarantees you know when Joe is going to be landing his ability, right? So you just as soon as you see Joe have the windup, you just W your clump, right? Because it says anytime a hero is healed, right, they gain armor, right? So you know when Joe's W is coming out, so you can throw your W and give your entire team 50 armor into Illidan, which is the main source of their damage. So he does 50% less damage the entire game. This is definitely way better. I like this. Spell Shield doesn't make sense to me. I would have definitely taken Weaken and Slow, right? Because this is having a chance to stop Illidan. Illidan was their hyper carry. So this talent change and this talent change would have been huge for helping you deal with Illidan. Double stun, yes. Resurrect, sure. Um, imagine, imagine with me when you were up here at this top fight, right? You're up here at this top fight. Everyone's clumped in on the top. AoE shield. Everybody with divine shields. I'm not saying it's the right choice, but you had a huge fight where this would have been godly. You would have actually won the boss pit because Illidan can't hurt you and they can't push you off the boss. But whether or not it's actually the right play or not. I like Resurrect. Just think about using Bulwark of Light in that way, where even if you end up walking next to a teammate to make sure that you get 2 charges of it. Um, yeah. And then you potentially could have even done this, where just in general, you give, instead of taking the armor 50 here, right? Like you constantly give your team 50 armor. So every time you heal, right? Because that's your trait. Every time you heal, you give your 25 armor to your team. So every time you heal, you give your team 50 armor. So both of these could be really strong. I like resurrecting myself, but I digress. Anoop things. So, uh, I personally believe that Bed of Barbs is potentially a trap talent now. Like unless you're offlaning and using the extra damage to ensure you clear a wave, this tends to be kind of trappy. Like yes, you can use this to stall, right? Like you put your Q across or you hit someone with your Q across and you get one more poke, but like that's not your job to poke. Right? Like that's Chromie's job to poke. That's Zagara's job to poke. Like both of them can drop things from over the wall to poke and stall. Right? How much more, especially since you went Chatnus plating too, right? Which I don't agree with Chatnus plating here. But like since you went Chatnus plating and you went W build here, like going full W gives you movement speed too. Right? I personally would have gone EE here just because I'm not worried about KT. I'm worried about making sure that I get on my target, whether it be I dive away from my target or I'm diving in and getting kills. So I would have probably gone both the range and the dig here. I like this. Obviously, um, if you're going full W build, go W here. I don't. You're not. I don't think you need beetles. Like technically, mathematically, this does more damage. So if you're trying to do more damage and do stuff on top of your pile, more W's, right? You're getting more W's off, more movement. Like you don't need the movement speed, I guess, but like more W's off, more W damage, right? Burning beetles does not do as much damage as W burst does. So I would have taken the W talent here. You can't not take epicenter and then rewind. That's fine. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. That was a really tough loss. I bet it hurts in the feels, but you did a great job. Way to execute a very difficult composition as far as being able to poke and split push and try and win. Just remember, when it's time to finally fight, you gotta find something, right? Like, especially with them taking Abathur, you can't just win this one through pure ratting and macro. Or if you do try and rat and macro, you have to secure buildings because Abathur will heal it up. So, right. This is Rock. Have a good one.